Do you feel the vibes?
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Here we have again the Optiplex 9020 SFF, and we're going to be doing some performance tests to it. Let's look at the specs first before we go on to the performance test. So here, this computer has an Intel Core i7-4770 CPU clocked at 3.4 gigahertz. This is a nice CPU. It's a quad-core, 8-thread CPU. This is what is recognized by Windows 10. Stock speeds, no overclocking. Let's go to the memory. 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, clocked at 1600 megahertz. Nothing special, just good enough for the computer. For our main operating system drive, which is the C drive, we have a SanDisk SSD, 120 gigabytes. This is the cheapest drive I could find. It's being sold on Amazon currently around 40 to 50 bucks. It's a nice little drive, gives new life to your computer. And for our data drive, which is the D drive, we have a Seagate 500 gigabyte SSD. And if it's not obvious here, I'm going to be using Performance Test 9 from Passmark to give us some really good benchmarks for this computer compared to others. This one is going to test your CPU right here. It's going to do a 2D benchmark, 3D benchmark, memory for RAM benchmark, and a disk benchmark. Nice little benchmark here. I'm also going to be using a kilowatt, which is already connected to this computer, so we can see our max wattage while some of these tests are performing. I'm also going to use FearMark to put it at the max resolution, which this monitor is only 1440 by 900. So I'm going to put it at the max resolution and check how much wattage we're using, and then I'm going to use. Here we go to downloads. I'm going to use the AS SSD benchmark to benchmark our hard drive and our SSD. See how that is like. And I'm going to use the Intel burn test to put maximum stress on the CPU and check our wattages again. So enough of that. Let's turn off the computer and see how long it takes to boot up. So now, computer's off. There's our stopwatch right here. You can see. Alright, let's start up this computer. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can hear the fan kicking in. Alright, 18 seconds to boot. So that's really good. I mean, I can already start using it and everything. Let's open up Google Chrome. There, it's already loading. Let's Google something. Nice. So 18 seconds to boot, not bad. The computer has been resting for a while, a couple of hours, and you see the graphics card is turned off. There's no video feed going to the monitor. And the computer is using around 20 watts, so that's just the CPU and idle. Now let's turn on the monitor, and we see that it jumped up just a bit, 22.3 watts. It's good, not bad at all. So now let's try to make our performance test. Let's go over here. Let's open up performance test. Yes, alright. Here we see it was idling around 29 Celsius for the CPU. The only things that are running in the background are going to be Windows Defender, the AMD Catalyst Center, MSI Afterburner, and this Intel Rapid Storage Technology. So let's run our benchmarks here. It's going to ask us if we want to run everything. Yes, go for it. So the performance test 9 has finished, and I think I saw a max of 97 watts, somewhere around there. So this computer doesn't use too much power, but you can also see that in the pass mark performance test rating. So if we look at it, we got a final score of 2396.9. For reference, let's see, the computer at work has a Intel Xeon 8-core 16-thread processor with a Titan X Maxwell card, and it gets around close to 7,000. But here, let's click on this. Oh, okay, well, here you see the other scores. Let's click OK on that. Just exit that. Alright, so for our CPU, we are within the 60th percentile. Not too bad, it's okay, 2396. Sorry, that was pass mark. So for our total one, we're at 60th percent on it. So it's not too bad for this type of PC. It's good enough. It'll work for whatever you want it to do, except hardcore gaming. So our CPU mark, 89th percentile. So this is good. It's really nice. i7. Let's go to 2D mark, 86th percentile at 874 marks. Not bad, but not really good. Let's go to our 3D mark. Suffer a lot. This has an AMD card in there and an HD 8690, I believe. Not that good for any type of 3D stuff, so this is where we see our computer lacking any performance. 23% percentile. Our memory mark. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Memory mark, 90th percentile. This is DDR3 memory. There's already newer technology out there, DDR4, but it's not too bad. We're still feeding enough instructions to the CPU. Fast enough, anyhow. So for our disk mark, we're at the 75th percentile. It's not that bad. Here, according to this, we're reading at 415 sequential read, 415 megabytes per second. Sequential write around 318. We're now random 109, and we didn't put a disk in there. But this is the overall pass mark rating for this computer. Now, moving on, let's try out the AES SSD. Let's look at that. So I have that. Oh, okay, I have that in my downloads. Where is it? Right here. Let's open that up. And let's do a test. Let's click start and we'll go. Okay, so I got tired of waiting. There's no point to it. Point made that the SSD is much faster than the hard drive. Here on the left hand side we have the SanDisk 120 gigabyte SSD. You can see sequential read and write. Read 509.17 megabytes per second. Write 354.99. Versus our hard drive, which only gets around 131.27 for read, 110 for write. You can see 3.5 to 4.5 times faster, which is really good. But now we moving on to the 4K sectors. Read and write 16.32 and 59.52 versus this, which was taking a really long time, is around 1 megabyte per second. If we're doing this test for 1 gigabyte, it would take around 1,000 seconds to finish, which was 16 minutes. I didn't want to do that. It would take 16 minutes for each of the other ones to finish, so that was too much. But there we go. Adding the SSD in there makes a huge difference. Alright, we're gonna start the Intel burn test version 2. Let's open this guy up. This one will put a 100% load on the CPU, and we're just doing this to see how much power this CPU uses. And again, this is a i7 4770, which I believe is a 100 watt TDP. We'll see. Let's put this on very high and let's check this out. Let's just start that up. Okay, so it seems that the CPU is just getting hotter and we are not using more power. It's only using 129 watts, which is more than enough. Let's look at the current CPU temperature. There we see it picked up to 130. CPU temperature is around 86 Celsius. Really hot, but it's okay. It can handle it. It can. The fan is already at full speed right now. So there we go. Now it's going down. So the test stopped, but let's stop it. So 130 watts on there. Now let's open up FearMark. And let's see this guy. We're gonna try it at the max resolution, 1440 by 900. Anti-aliasing. Let's turn some of it on. Let's see. GPU stress test. Let's try this. So again, we see this jumping up. Now, let's see. This is an AMD Radeon HD 8490. And seems like it reached its max power, not getting anything more than 3 frames per second. So let's stop this. That jumped up to 65. Let's stop it. And it goes back down to around 20 something watts, which is really good. So let's start the CPU test. The Intel burn test. So we're starting that. Let's do a GPU stress test at the same time. See what happens. So the test seems to have plateaued and it's only using around 150 watts, 151. So that's not too bad. Now let's stop this. This power supply is not that good. It's a max 200 watts, so we're using 3/4 of it. More than that, sorry. So stop that. Alright, this computer is by no means a monster. It's okay. It will be used for web browsing, so using Google Chrome, some MATLAB from programming, and some SolidWorks, Inventor, AutoCAD for 3D modeling. So this would be good enough. It has enough number of processors in there and threads in order to do some really nice multitasking. It has enough RAM. I mean, if we need to add more in the future, we can. Max, I think it's a max of 32, but we're good with 16 right now. This computer is good to go. Hopefully, person that gets it will like it. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment, and I'll make sure to answer as soon as possible. So take care, guys, and see you in the next one.